emerging story now with Mike Buckley, a political analyst and senior journalist. He's also in London. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. We heard a bit about the polls there from Laura. Just how damaging is all of this going to be for the Conservative Party?
Well, it's impossible to imagine, near impossible to imagine the Conservative Party winning the next general election whenever it's held, not only because there's been such chaos in government and in Westminster in the last few weeks, but also thinking back to, the disastrous, final months of the tenure of Boris Johnson, which comparison, of course, seemed, perfectly normal compared to the few weeks we've just had, but also that they've lost credibility on the economy. And once the government loses credibility on the economy, it's almost impossible for them to get it back. We saw that in 1992, when the Conservatives were last in government. They lost economic credibility, and then they limped on for another 5 years before losing, very, very badly to the Labour Party at the next election. And it seems likely that something like that will occur this time around. There is lots of talk of a general election in imminent months. And my own view is that remains unlikely, because you would have to have a lot of Conservative Party MPs voting themselves out of a job, because they're far behind in the polls. There was a poll a couple of days ago, and I would imagine things have got worse now, but there was a poll a couple of days ago putting Labour 36 points ahead on 56% to the Conservatives 20%. And that is unprecedented. There is no reason why a governing party who can choose when the next election is, for the next couple of years at least, would put themselves, in an election position at this point, knowing that they would be reduced to, a handful of MPs. They're just not going to do it. I mean, hundreds of people would have to decide, yes, I want to make myself unemployed. So I remain sceptical on that, but I do remain very pessimistic about what the next couple of years of government will look like. And that has serious implications. I mean, in all of this has serious implications for people's lives in the UK. Our economy is in serious trouble. We've got 1 in 4 families with children not able to feed themselves for 3 meals a day. And 1 in 8 people without children unable to feed themselves 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. We're in serious trouble, and we haven't got a government that is dealing with the problems at the root of that, or dealing with the fact that people in our country now are really struggling to meet the cost of living.
Yeah, serious trouble indeed, politically and domestically, for lots of people across the UK right now. Mike, thanks so much for your insight and for joining us here on WION.
Through his work on conservation.
Secretary of State, this is Emma from Reuters.
Hi, Emma.
Lovely to see you.
Hi.
Very close contacts of ours here in Geneva.
Very good.
Thanks for agreeing to meet
Not
with us.
at all, that's fine.
Mr. Speaker, in the hour